Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the Action Force Weapons Pack Bravo by Valiverse. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. And last but not least, in the Action Force Series 1, we have the Action Force Weapons Pack Bravo. This is a great accessory for your Action Force figures or for the other guys that you may collect. And here's your contents. And we are going to remove those, spread them out for you on this paper towel so that you can see what they look like. And we're going to go over each and every individual weapon. All right, we're back with Weapons Pack Bravo. So let's take a look at what you get inside the box. First and foremost, we're going to begin with the Kriss Vector 9mm submachine gun. Very unique operating system. And you can see that it includes an extended suppressed barrel, as well as a 6-position collapsible and folding stock EOTech holographic sight. Now, this has a very unique operating system compared to something like the MP5, whereas in most firearms, the bolt carrier assembly, when the weapon is fired, the bolt extracts the shell and the bolt carrier assembly travels to the rear and then travels back forward. The Kriss Vector operating system, the reason the receiver is designed this way is that when the weapon is fired, the bolt travels down like this at an angle in this section of the weapon right here. And you can see where the magazine is right here. This is the mag well, this forward part here. This entire section where the Kriss Vector logo is where the bolt carrier assembly is going to travel back and down at an angle. It was designed that way to mitigate recoil and muzzle climb when it's being fired fully automatic. Integral pick rail on the top. You've got ambi selector switch here, as well as here. Your bolt catches here, your mag releases here. And guys that haven't fired this weapon yet, you can grip it on the front, and a lot of new shooters accidentally hit the mag release and drop the mag while they're shooting the weapon. H&K MP5 SD6. This is the standard for submachine guns around the world. Still in use. Been in use for decades, actually. This gun was designed by H&K, I want to say back in the late 70s, early 80s. Chamber for 9mm, and it fires subsonic rounds. And this has a very unique operating system. When you fire a weapon, you have 3 different sound signatures. The first you have, of course, is the report of the gun being fired. Standard ammunition that exceeds the speed of sound will have a supersonic crack, and then you have the sound of the action. On the MP5, H&K developed a dampening system inside the receiver so that when the bolt carrier travels rearward, it hits these pads that dampen that sound signature to help it reduce the noise profile of the operating system. The suppressor on a weapon only reduces one thing, and that is the report of the weapon being fired. And what happens when you fire the weapon, you have the gases traveling down the barrel behind the round, and they exit the barrel as a weapon is discharged. And the way that this operates is that the suppressor will trap and slow down those gases to reduce that sound signature that you hear. They use subsonic ammo in this to reduce the sound profile so there isn't a supersonic crack. If they were using standard velocity 9mm full metal jacket ammo, you would still have a supersonic crack. You can't reduce that with a suppressor. 30-round magazine, folding stock, aim point red dot, and you've got your rotary rear sight and front sight, as I pointed out. Pick rail on top, tri-rail on the handguard here. Charging handle is there. Selector switch is here. Really awesome gun, very accurate, very reliable. Kalashnikov AK-47. This looks like Destro's gun. Chamber for 7.62. This gun has been in use since 1947. Very accurate, out to about 400, 500 meters. Very reliable. This gun will run all day and all night. My first sergeant was in Operation Desert Storm, and they took one of these and threw it in a mud hole filled with water and left it for a week. Came back, pulled it out of the mud, picked it up, fired it. Just like that. They left the mag in it and everything. Resistance fighters like from the Northern Alliance and stuff that had these in Afghanistan, they were using socks and motor oil to clean these things. You got your selector switch here and your charging handles here. So when you would load these mags and you would take 30 round mag, put it in like this, at an angle, roll it over, rack your charging handle, it's ready to go. And this does not operate off the same system as an M4. M4 is a direct gas impingement system. This is a gas piston system. So when a round is fired, a small amount of gas travels up a tube here in this port and travels rearward, and it hits a rod, and it pushes that rod from the pressure back, and that operates and cycles the action in the AK. You've got an elevated rear sight here, your front sight there. All the way around, nice gun. I don't care for the gold color. Got a gold Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic handgun. This is a hand cannon. Tried and true Colt 1911 A1. This gun has been in use for over 100 years, still going. I own one of these, and I learned to shoot on a 1911. And most instructors will not allow their students to bring a 1911 to the class because it is a single action handgun and it has a different trigger pull than some of the striker fired pistols. I learned to shoot on this and I haven't put it down since. That's all that I use. 45 ACP, and nicely detailed. And you can tell this is a government model because it's got the short beaver tail here, and you can see it's got the slide catch right there. No rail molded on this, just standard government model. This, I believe, is supposed to be an F&H FX45 sidearm. I don't think this is meant to be a Glock because of the length of the grip. I could be mistaken. If y'all got questions, email Valiverse, but I believe this is a FNX 45. 12 gauge pump shotgun. Looks like something the Terminator would use. H&K MP5 personal defense weapon. You see a lot of snipers carrying these. It's got an aim point sight on it. Pick rail on each side. Folding vertical grip. Collapsible buttstock. I think it's 45 round mag, excuse me. And you got a suppressor attached to it. There is a special holster that you can wear on your thigh to carry this, or if you're carrying a DMR, you can carry this as your secondary weapon instead of a handgun. Also included is this nasty looking sickle. Nicely detailed. I like the rivets and the silver paint. I think it's really cool. You also get 3 blast effects. You're 2 large and 1 small for the handguns, and you can take these, plug them into the port like that, and for the larger weapons like the AK, you can, well, guess what? I just broke that one. You can put it in like this. I have to glue that back together. This one is designed for this FN M249. That is awesome. And a U.S. Marine Corps cover. And let's see if I can put this on. Yep. It will fit your Action Force special ops soldier. Last but not least, FN M249 squad automatic weapon, chambered for 5.56, effective range of 700 meters. You can see it's got a 200 round box magazine. You also have a nut sack you can attach to it. If you don't have that, you can attach a 30 round stay nag into the side and keep yourself in the fight. There is nobody in the Taliban, ISIS, or any other terrorist organization that sticks around when this thing cranks up. I'm telling you, this is an awesome, awesome weapon. It's heavy, it weighs 22 pounds, fully loaded, but it will get the job done. And you can see it's got some nice detailing in here. You got your detachable box magazine, which will come off. Attach it on the bottom. Take your belt, feed it in to the tray, pull your top cover down. It's got a molded pick rail there, no red dot optic on it. You wouldn't see these being used without some sort of optic. Very seldom did you see these in Global War on Terror being used with iron sights. But this is what you use when you need to lay down covering fire. And most people are under the misconception that soldiers use automatic fire, and you don't. You know, in your M4s and stuff like that, you're using semi-auto. Only person using automatic fire is a guy carrying this, the automatic rifleman in your squad. And the reason for that is you have to conserve ammo because, you know, standard infantry soldiers and things like that, and even special operations soldiers, usually only carry 6 or 7 30-round mags. You know, if you're carrying 7 30-round mags, that's 210 rounds of ammo. If you get in a firefight for, you know, more than a couple of minutes, you're in trouble. And the guy carrying this has a very limited amount of ammo. Usually in his patrol pack, he's got 1 or 2 more of these box magazines, and that gets heavy. That's 200 rounds of ammo in there. And lugging this thing around all day is a chore. It really is. Imagine going outside the wire on a 12-mile patrol and you're carrying 20 pounds of this around. So there you have the Action Force Weapons Pack Bravo. This concludes our video reviews for Series 1. If you don't have one of these, you need to go to the website at Valiverse.com and order it today and become part of the action.